Thank you for joining us for another episode of Talk for 10. Today we're with Melissa, and she's with the Airpower Foundation. So we just wanted to sit down and talk with her and find out a little bit more about it. So Melissa, tell us about your background and your involvement. How did you get involved with Airpower?
Yeah, well, I joined Airpower last year at the end of October. I have about 20 plus years in the nonprofit world, and I had taken a break from nonprofit for a while, I needed a little bit of respite from it because I've been doing it for so long. And then I felt God tapping my shoulder again, said, okay, it's time. And so I kind of started talking to some different nonprofits, and then God just really led me to Airpower. I met a gentleman named Kevin Fallon, who is an active duty Navy, but really involved in Airpower, and he connected me to Wanda, who's our chairman of the foundation, and we just clicked and we talked, and the next thing I know, I'm the executive director for Airpower. Kind of how that happened.
Well, there you go. Yeah. And you guys, what do you do exactly for veterans? I know you offer a lot of services. So
we really support our past, present, and future military. So our past is our veterans, and we provide many different services. Every veteran is different. They all have different needs, but recently we were able to give away a service dog and some counseling services. For PTSD and just mental support. We also do gatherings where our veterans can gather together and like retreats sometimes as well.
Nice.
Because it's important for them to get back together and to share their stories and to be back with their brothers and sisters, right? Because they've been through so much together. And we do a lot. Like sometimes we give away cars, or they may be down, just struggling with something, and we may pay a light bill or a car payment, just really whatever that individual need is, we try to meet it. And then for our present is we work really closely with NAS JRB there in Fort Worth. We started the food pantry for them back during COVID, and so we still work to keep that stocked. And sometimes they have other needs that come through, and we will do our best to find a solution for it and make it happen. And then other active or reservists that are in the area, sometimes there's needs that come up, and we reach out to our network, and like I said, we find a solution to be able to provide that support for them, because they've really done everything for our country and for our freedoms, and without them we wouldn't be here. So it's really our job to give back whenever we can. And then for our future, we work with a lot of underserved schools and their ROTC programs, being able to provide scholarships and allowing them to come out and present the colors. I mean, that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really great to invest in our future, because they are going to be our future leaders, right?
True. That is so incredible. And you guys just had an event, correct? And I mean, everything that you do is from donations, because like you said, it's nonprofit. So tell me a little bit about the event you just had.
Yeah, well, we just had two, actually. So I had this idea back in January that, God just put it on my heart about mental health and veteran suicide, and it really just broke my heart, to be honest with you. And I said, I have to do something about it. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my group of people, my sphere of influence, and we're going to walk 22 miles, and we're going to talk about it, and maybe we'll raise some money. If we do, we'll give it away, right? Well, the next thing I know, I'm talking to our marketing director, Cameron, and our board member, Ian, Shelley, and it just kind of snowballed. And in March, it was on our calendar to do an event in June, and so it was called The Walk 22, and it was a walk throughout the month of June. So everybody kind of walked on their own, but they were walking 22 miles, and they recorded themselves while they were walking, to really bring that awareness to the struggles that our veterans go through with PTSD and those suicide ideations. And we, through that program, we were able to raise close to $25,000, which was just incredible. We had a big launch party in the stockyards, and we had some bands there, and we took the first mile together down through the stockyards, and it was just so overwhelming because we had city council members, we had Chuck Wright he's the commissioner of the Veterans Commission. I mean, it was just something that the community really came together and rallied around. It was just a special was a special moment. And then it has just kind of continued through there. And we had the Patriot Roundup, which happened on July 31st, where we elevated stories of Native Americans and the roles that they played in our country in the wars, starting in World War I, and just how we needed to honor them and bring their stories forward and remind people of the sacrifices that they made in our wars. So it was really awesome. But we gave away a service dog to a Green Beret veteran who needed it, and him and his family, and also some counseling and some things like that. So it's awesome. I mean, being able to rally the community and our supporters, and then be able to give those funds right back, right away that very next month was really special.
Is there any significance to the 22 that you just mentioned?
So, it's been 22 veterans, lose their battle in the mind every day. That number's gone down a little bit now. I think it's probably around 17 or 18. But what a lot of people don't know, that in our DFW area, I mean, we have you know how many veterans we have in this area? It's amazing. I mean, it's a lot. Like, we have, I think, one of the largest concentration of veterans in the country, and our numbers are going up. And so we really need that number. Signifies the number of people that lose that battle.
That's terrible. And so you guys also have this big event in October. What is that all about?
That is Sky Ball, and it is our premier gala, and it's going to be at Globe Life Field. We're honoring the 250 years of our Army and Navy. It's their birthday, Army, Navy, Marines. It's going to be a great party, a great celebration. We're going to raise, a lot of funds to be able to fund more programs and to help more of our heroes.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to volunteer, what exactly can they do to help Airpower?
Really anything. If you want to volunteer for an event, you can do that and work on the ground, and you can be a sponsor. You can be a monthly donor. Having those monthly donations coming in every month really keeps us sustainable. Just like last week, we had those Cooper Street fire or Cooper apartment fires. And we had somebody that they lost everything, and they are a reservist in Grand Prairie. And they had a baby, and they didn't have beds. They didn't have a baby bed. They didn't have food. Nothing. And so we got a call, and then within like 4 or 5 hours, we raised enough money to buy them furniture, take care of the baby. But if we have that, that money already coming in every month, when those emergencies come out, we can just take care of it a lot faster for them.
Makes it easier. And so if they wanted to find more information about Airpower, where would they go to find that?
They could first go to our socials. We are very active on social media, and that's Airpower Foundation. And you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're always updating it. We always have things happening because we're just really busy. Like, we're always out in the community. So if you really want to be in the know, check out our socials. But you can go to our website, which is airpowerfoundation.org.
And so that's great stuff. Tell me a little bit about your background. You were just telling me that you lived in another country for a significant amount of time. I'm interested in that. You caught my eye.
I've done just a little bit of everything. I really kind of grew my nonprofit or my outreach through the church that I used to attend. And I just felt the call to move to Ethiopia and to work there. I worked there for several years, coming back and forth, and building infrastructure plans and working with other nonprofits and doing work with vulnerable women and children, and specifically trying to stop the child bride situation.
Yes.
And it was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. Just seeing how prayerful, and they just give so much praise, even in, they're in some of the most dire situations, but yet they find such joy and happiness. It's really taught me a lot, about myself. And there are days where, we struggle a lot, and I always say, well, we're in first world problems, and I start to think about that, because it's really easy to forget how blessed we are. And when you get to spend time and break bread with people who live in a space that's, not much bigger than this and don't really have anything, and to see how grateful they are for what they have and to give God thanks. And it's a very humbling experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you've enjoyed our episode and you've learned a little bit more about Airpower Foundation. Make sure that you hit that notification, like and subscribe us. You have a good day.